Steve, can you try to take the first one?
Hold on, Lenny. Watch your feet. I'm just gonna move this over.
Why?
Cause I want to.
Steve, how do you shut this off?
That button here.
Yes.
Welcome to Bob Brewster Senior Memorial Field, everybody. Michael Lenny alongside Alex Kingsley for the first round of the Week 4 North 2 Sectional Tournament. The Blue Devils are the 2 seed, taking on the Franklin Warriors. They're the 15 seed. The Westfield Alex Kingsley on the hill, already 2-0 count for Alex. Westfield Alex is 25, Franklin 7-13. Second round's on Thursday. Westfield looking to make some noise in this tournament. Started off the year, of course, 0-3. And they went 18 consecutive games, but they dropped 2 out of their last 4, including that tough semifinal against Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, they had a heck of a season, you know, in the mid-season, I guess. They didn't start too well. I think they started 2-3. And finally, they caught some fire, and they were able to win 2 in a row. Even though they lost 2-4, the win here would give them momentum for the rest of the state tournament.
Taylor, it's sunny out.
Yeah, there you go! Really good pitch right there for Cancini. And he strikes out the first batter, Gonzalez, the second baseman. So, Slaughter back, the DH for Franklin will come to the plate number 6, the lefty.
I said that in the car.
Cancini has pitched 22 innings this season and given up 14 runs. Not exactly the Virgin's posting the aces team to start in Tennessee for the Red Dominant, but still great junior season for Alex.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Mitch. You have Tim's on?
Again, the starts in the first round. One count on Slaughter down. And that one was long down third base line.
It's a good sign. You're already getting a strikeout, especially at bat. This is something that we've seen you struggle with at the start. We've seen you sometimes give hits and a few runs. First inning, usually is able to come back from that.
That one off his legs. So OT on Saturday. Seeing like 20 strikeouts and 22 runs away. Good for the also getting 26 hits in this 22. And that one just misses for the first ball.
Hey, Mr. Rambas.
Westfield, it's making the ball, have it in the first and see on the hill. At the last game. Another strikeout for Cancini.
High breaking ball. The team is able to get him that high speed. Another strikeout. Already 2 outs, 2 Ks. Can't finish him.
Leader Patel, right fielder for the Warriors. Cancini throwing some good heat right there.
Oh, certainly. You know, beginning of the game, you get play your hardest, I'm sure. Maybe even at the end of the game, you know, when you have to drive to finish out a complete game. But, you know, as you said before, previous broadcast, the team really never clocked out as high as 90 something that you would only see maybe in the MLB, maybe even AAA.
And Patel had that bump down, and he gets called for a strike. Late to bring it back, so it counts at 2 runs, 2 left. And sorry for that late start. I had some problems, technical problems with the camera and audio, so I think we missed it. The team is trying to shake out the side. Just got Patel to swing in this, so 2-2 count. Looking to strike out the side for junior ace. Payoff pitch. Cancini with a perfect inning, 3 up, 3 down, all strikeouts, no score. Bottom of the first inning in the West.
Let's see it, Matt! Here we go!
Sectional tournament after Alex Cancini just goes out there and strikes out 3 with ease.
I told my mom, I was like,
And J-Mac Numbers leads
There you
off
go,
the
Jay!
starting everyday player all year long for Westfield. And a great year in that leadoff.
Come on, Paul!
He's got a 1-0 count. He swings at that second pitch, hit a mile high into short. And DiNicola makes the catch quickly on the way here.
Yeah, as you said before, Memphis almost like a stereotype. Lead off, he's got the speed, he'll get the bat and the ball, he'll get on base, he'll score runs for his team.
But it's on 387 prior to shootout. And in comes Kobe Wolf, and he starts it in left field in place of Jacob Kurtzstein.
I can see that. I can see that football all the way from left field. Outside the plate, came inside by perfect straight. So we're going down and look at that one.
Oh, that's awesome. We're so used to seeing Kurtzstein. Hurt or sick or anything, or just Coach Bruce's decision.
Woo!
Into deep center field.
All right. That went from an out to a
Yeah, Mike, I'll tell you, coming off the bat, I knew that was way I didn't think it had enough to go fast. You see what happened, man? I was zoomed in on the runner, but fell and couldn't make the play.
Where'd he go, Kobe?
Out back.
What up, boys?
He's got that speed in his wheels to his feet. He's able to bring all of that in.
What a start for Westfield. Mullen through that order. Wolf with an absolute bomb right out there in center. And the great speed. Comes home and scores. No errors on the play whatsoever. Here comes Westfield's best player you could probably say. And Chris Rinaldi. Senior, just hoping it's not his final
Mom,
game.
do you have a hat in your car? Other sunglasses?
He swings out that one, so 2-1
Really
count.
All around baseball player. He's got power, he's got contact, he can do it all.
This one is topped up in play, and it is caught by third baseman Calvin. So Rinaldi goes down 2-way and then making it into the plate. Warriors pitcher to pitch on 8th Logan Bradshaw. Really talented
So far, this is really upside that when we look up from the park otherwise he's gotten 2 outs. Now he's got Bumley to clean up. Let's see what he can do on this one.
I was talking to Victor Cruz earlier today. He was telling me about how Franklin's got this really talented pitcher, Logan Bradshaw. Sure enough, we've seen him through the way. Ready on lefty for making.
Oh, all right, Stowe.
Absolute bomb into left. That one is caught by Pally, and the Siders is retired by Kobe Wolf. With an inside the park homer, Westfield leads it by 1 after 1. So top of the second here at Westfield. Catcher Smiley after Cancini. Struck out all 3 if you're just joining us, and Kobe Wolf's inside the park home run. Tilden's for making Rinaldi at it. Cruz in the infield. Wolf in left, Randall's in center, and J.D. Marner out there.
And Mike already way ahead. Can't see the 1-2 count, 2 breaking balls.
Just fouled off by Smiley way late. Cancini throwing pure heat right now. Definitely the best I've seen him this season.
Oh, that's not us.
You're saying
not
it
us.
for you strike out. You can go in there.
Soccer.
That one hit into
Here we go, J-Mac! All right, Paul!
Rembes makes
Yeah, Paul!
4 up, 4 down. As Callahan will come to the plate. Third baseman for the Warriors.
You know, Mike, you're saying he's a great first inning. But as a factor, he already threw 16 pitches. An ideal inning, I guess you could say 10, 12 pitches would be, good, moderate. But 16 is, a little bit past a lot, and you just got to keep his pitch count down if you want to stay in the game.
Pantini was actually slated to start on Saturday against Richwood in the regular season game on Senior Day, but then he was actually sick, so he couldn't play. And DeSardo pitched, and Westfield really struggled that game. He lost 10-1 to Richwood. Pantini gets another strike there, so 1-2. So DeSardo started, and Oberman came in. It was just really downhill from the beginning. It was 10-1. That was Westfield's last game. Another strikeout from Pantini. That's 4 on the board. Second one looking.
He wore a hat. He didn't wear a hat. It's so funny.
That was the shortstop, Dean Cole, trying to beat up the Warriors' first baseman. Takes the first pitch, he off the ball one. Second pitch, down the outside, gets behind Anderson. So 2-0 count on Dean Cole. Real nice crowd here in this case. First round, beautiful, 2 section class, and a great day for baseball.
I'm going to say all beats is probably at 80% attendance right now.
I can hear that. So 3-0 count for Dean Cole. Rosario, the center fielder, would be next. Takes that one, and you can hear the mitt from Anderson. And see, was really pitching well. 3-1 count, and right down the middle again to make it full.
Yeah, that's the sound that everybody's hoping to pop a ball in there with a glove.
And that's also the Warriors have their first base runner of the ball game. Indian Cole, their shortstop, he's at first, and center fielder Bizarres comes to the plate. The righty. I'm talking about Kurt said not going to start, but we will start in that game. Because that one's fouled off behind. We haven't seen a lot of Jake Valverde the past week or two.
Yeah, we saw him mid-season playing first base, and at the end of the game, he brought that season. He caught it a little bit after that news came out. But, it seems like some of the upperclassmen really stepped up and done their job. Maybe even better than Valverde has in the past. So it seems like they're really in that spot in the lineup. And really just helping this team really win.
Talking about these older guys, class of 2016 has been so dominant. Of course, winning football and swimming state championship across and baseball, trying to do the same. Both have good chances. Rosario is just so dominant and seeing him really find his zone in his comfort zone.
Yeah, you were just talking about throwing heat. That seemed like it was a half swing from Bizarres at the end.
Check swing.
It was so
Looks like another half swing of that ball. Bizarres fouls it off. Victor Cruz makes the play. Sadly tired. Pantini doing his thing. 4 strikeouts, no hits through 2. Westfield up 1. So bottom of the second. here at Bob Brewster Senior Memorial Field. Brunson leads off in a liner. Clean base hit in the center. Gotta love that sound of the aluminum. Brunson's been coming in and he's been contributing, Alex, at a really productive high level.
Yeah, I mean, all the games that we've seen him play, I think he's probably either now 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 at this point. He had that great double and triple in the game that we saw before that we broadcasted, and right now it's another single, and he's just doing everything that he can, producing for his team and getting runners on base for himself.
Yeah, I was against State, and Brunson had the game-tying triple in the bottom of the 7th, and then Cruz hit the walk-off double as Bradshaw throws it over at first to Matos. Brunson back in safely. Cruz hitting .304 on the year. And he takes the first pitch, ball 1. He's got 17 RBIs on the year, 21 of 69. Bradshaw taking his time. That one high and inside. Good eye from Cruz, so 2-0 count. Brian Sloan, first base coach, and Brewster Jr. at third base. Brunson with a nice lead over there. Cruz takes it again, high and inside, so 3-0 count.
You know, it seems like there's been, I guess, so much hype for. It seems like Bradshaw had so much hype for this one. He worked a 3-0 count, now 3-1. Seems now he's in a bit of a struggle now with the runner on base, no outs, 3-1 count. As you would say, hitters count. He's got to pitch a strike or a walk.
Steve, it was my fault. And Cruz walks on 5 pitches, his 12th walk of the season. So Bobby Abbott will come to the plate with a RBI opportunity with runners on first and second and nobody out here in the bottom of the 2nd.
No, what we're seeing, like what?
Abbott shows bunt, then pulls it back, but he takes a called strike 1.
You know, Mike, we've seen Bobby Abbott. It seems like he's the one who's, I guess you could say, the best hitter with probably more than 30 at-bats, 40 at-bats. Definitely has the best average on the team. Good situation for Westfield, especially with the runner in scoring position. Possibly he can bring in Tavis and with a well-hit ball, maybe even bring Cruz in.
0-1 count for Abbott. Dugout getting into it. Abbott shows bunt again, but he fouls it off.
Go, Bobby.
So
You're right, Bobby.
0-2 on Abbott.
Stay hot, kid.
Mike, it's my time to shot.
Go, Bob.
And Bradshaw now way ahead with the 0-2 count.
And Abbott pops that one up in foul territory, but will be caught by the first baseman for the first out of the inning. Caught by Matos.
You know, it seems like Bradshaw can now take a sigh of relief. Not a full one just yet, but enough that now he's got 1 out instead of none in the prior situation.
Anderson hitting in the 8th hole for today for Westfield. 1 away, and he lines one into left, but that will land just foul.
Anderson, great contact. I mean, that was pretty far. I would say probably, 305, maybe even 310 feet out there in left field. If he had waited just about, another half a millisecond, that would have been easily a double, possibly a triple with how big this field is, Mike.
0-1 on Anderson, the catcher. That one had some curve and movement to it, so 0-2.
It seemed like a nice curveball. Curved on the bottom inside corner of the strike zone. Didn't like it, probably thought it was a little low.
And that one low in the dirt. Good block by Smiley behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Anderson. J.D. Marner, right fielder's on deck. Bradshaw trying to work out of this jam. And good pitch right there, and he gets Anderson looking for the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Bradshaw in the afternoon. So Marner will come to the dish. Westfield had runners on first and second with nobody out. And now the runners are still there with 2 away, and Marner takes a called strike 1 down the middle. That one's high, so ball 1. Outfield's playing pretty deep all afternoon on both sides of the ball, and these hitters really hitting it pretty far today, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm sure they've moved back from their original spots the first inning. They've reassured themselves knowing this Westfield team can really hit the ball. They're going to back up. As a safety, even though, that leaves, shallow left, shallow center, shallow right for little bloopers, prevents extra base hits, triples, doubles, even home runs.
Marner's worked it from an 0-1 count to a 3-1 count. We'll see if he takes here. He does, but it's a called strike 2. Just in that upper zone right there. J-Mac Rembes is next, top of the lineup for Westfield. Full count, 2-way, Cruz at first, and runners are going. Marner, base hit up the middle. Brunson will come home and score. An RBI single for J.D. Marner gives Westfield a 2-0 lead, and Cruz advances to third.
As you were just saying before, on purpose, as the outfielders are a little deep, and all Marner had to do was put a little contact on it to go out of the infield, and easily Tavis Brunson was going to score. In a different situation, if the outfielders were a little more shallow, it'd be an interesting play at home for the center fielder to throw with a good play.
And now Bradshaw talk it over real quick with his first, third, and catcher, Matos, Smiley, and Callahan. Quick little conversation, get him back on track. As top of the lineup, J-Mac Rembes flew out in his first at-bat to shortstop. Takes the first pitch for ball 1.
Come on, J-Mac!
Marner at first, Cruz at third. And Rembes hits it just foul. Matos missed the play, but it was foul anyway. So 1-1 count. Takes that one outside, 2-1. Rembes has had a really good year, hitting .387. He's got 15 RBIs, 29 of 75 for the senior outfielder. Marner's going before the pitch is even thrown. Great heads-up steal right there. Bradshaw had no idea that Marner was going. He was 3/4 of the way down that base path before Bradshaw even threw that pitch, Alex. And Rembes takes that one for ball 4. So the Blue Devils have the bases loaded with 2-way for Kobe Wolf, who hit an inside the park dinger in his first at-bat in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and just to go back from before, I mean, that was probably just as Bradshaw got set, Marner took off. And he had a great early steal. But in a first and third situation, you probably don't want to throw that anyway because then the runner on third could possibly steal home. So this is where in high school baseball you have certain plays in the infield where you call a certain play where the catcher throws it to the shortstop, or he does throw it to second base, or maybe even third base, first base, second base, or even the pitcher. So, in sports like basketball, football, you have certain plays for almost every single time uh, a team is in possession. But in baseball, it's not the case. And this is one of the few cases where baseball you can have plays. Just throw certain plays in the first and third situation when the runner first steals.
And a great opportunity now for Wolf, because in that first at-bat he had no one was on base, so gave Westfield the lead and showed how Wolf deserving that starting spot for sure. And now let's see what he could do with the bases loaded. Definitely a big at-bat for this, determining the outcome of this ball game, especially for Logan Bradshaw, who's definitely worked himself into an uncomfortable jam right now. As Wolf takes the first pitch for ball one.
I think I'm going to agree with the Franklin coach on that one. It looked good from here. I'm not sure what was wrong with that pitch.
Wolf takes that one just high. Franklin coach not happy at all, so 2-0 count.
You say
Wolf, sorry.
Yeah, you say Bradshaw worked himself into jam, but you have to realize there still are 2 outs. There's a play to the easiest base wherever the fielder gets the ball in the infield. So this jam could, Franklin could easily get out of it. It's just there's the risk of Kobe Wolf possibly putting the ball in play.
Well, just a little bloop single, and Franklin's season is that much closer to being over, as that one is a called strike. So 2-2 count. Rembes at first, Marner at second, Cruz at third, and Wolf at the plate. 2-2 count, two-way. Pitch from Bradshaw, swung on and missed by Kobe Wolf. Says foul tape, catcher makes the play, but Westfield gets another run, courtesy of J.D. Marner's RBI single, but they leave the bases loaded. So Pancini, 2 great innings of work, only had 1 base runner, and that one's lined foul over there into those bleachers down the third base line. Hitter is the lefty left fielder, Pally. Pancini with 4 strikeouts and no hits allowed. And Pally's quickly down 0-2 right now. Two pitch from Pancini, and he got him looking. Strikeout number 5 for Pancini. As Matos, the first baseman, will come to the plate. That one is line, and it's a bloop single for Matos. That's the first hit of the day for Franklin. Gonzalez, second baseman, leadoff hitter for the Warriors, will come to the plate. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. And he pops at the first pitch up. In play, and Abbott will go over there on the line and make the catch. So quickly 2-way in this inning with the runner on first.
And Pancini just continuing to do what he's supposed to do. And just throwing pitches that the hitters can hit and putting the ball in play for his fielders to back him up and make the plays.
D.H. Slaughterback also struck out in that 1-2-3 inning Pancini had in the first. And he just made Slaughterback look silly right there, going up for that high fastball. He's hitting .318 on the year, but not an everyday player, according to the stats NJ.com has. And he fouls that one off into the parking lot. Just misses the car.
Pancini again working the 0-2 count. Way ahead. Another strikeout opportunity. 2 outs. Get out of the inning. Pancini's been doing a great job.
And he throws it back to first. That was a pretty close play right there. But Matos back in safely. Pancini looking for strikeout number 6. Oh, 0-2 pitch, and he got him swinging. 6 strikeouts on the afternoon for Alex Pancini. Only had 20 coming into today on the season. So Rinaldi leads off the bottom of the third for Westfield. Bradshaw still on the mound for the Warriors.
Bradshaw with the first pitch strike on Rinaldi. We know he knows, I'm sure he does, that Rinaldi's a dangerous hitter.
And he pops that one up to first. And the catch is made by Matos. So one away here in the bottom of the third. Barmakian comes to the plate. Hitting .321 on the year, 25 of 78 with 22 RBIs. 13 walks and 14 stolen bases. So Barmakian doing a lot of everything this year in his senior campaign.
Again, Bradshaw with the first pitch strike. You know, sometimes batters, what they do is on purpose to see, you know, to get a good look at the pitcher is take the first pitch, which gives the advantage to the pitcher to just pitch a strike.
The second pitch is popped up and caught by Callahan at third. So 2 infield pop-ups for the Blue Devils this inning. As Brunson comes up, and he made some really good contact in his first at-bat, a liner into center field. He's been on a tear recently. Brunson hitting .440 on the year, 11 of 25, 8 RBIs. And again takes the first pitch for ball 1.
You know, Mike, as you were saying before, these outfielders continue to stay deep, knowing that even Tavis Brunson especially, as we saw from that triple against Dane High School, that they're going to go deep, that they know these Westfield hitters can really hit the ball. We've seen inside Parkers, we've seen even home runs over the fence.
Yeah, that right fielder is all the way back at the wall as Brunson took 3 consecutive balls right now. Trying to get Westfield the base runner with 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Victor Cruz would be next. Pitch from Bradshaw is high, so Brunson walks on 4 pitches to give Westfield a 2-out base runner as Cruz comes to the plate. Winner of this game will take on the winner of the 7-10 matchup, Woodbridge-JP Stevens, on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Westfield wins will be right here, and we'll have the game for you on BDTV. Cruz walked in his first at-bat in that second inning. And he was stranded at third when the Blue Devils had the bases loaded with 2 away. 0-1 count right now. Brunson with a comfortable lead. Throw back, and he's in there safely.
You know, Mike, this would be a good time to get a little 2-out rally going. Get some more insurance runs because, Blue Devils are only up 2-0, but, we've seen, even though Pancini's been doing one heck of a job on the mound, we've seen him fall apart before.
Brunson back safely again. 0-1 count. Gotta love that chant by the Westfield bullpen. Cruz takes it again, so he's down 0-2.
Bradshaw has 2 strikes already in the game, looking for his third. Again, way ahead with the 0-2 count.
We saw Cruz started the year at shortstop or a couple of the scrimmages because Rinaldi was hurt with the arm injury, then moved over to first, had a really incredible junior year. Probably the best year out of all the juniors.
Except for Pancini, of course.
And he takes that one, 2-2 count.
You know, Cruz now worked it to a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
And that one's low. So Cruz now with a full count and 2-way. Brunson's at first. And Bobby Abbott on deck.
Mike, I was talking about a 2-out rally before, and we know Bobby Abbott can certainly continue it.
Brunson goes. Cruz strikes out looking. Second K of the day for Logan Bradshaw. Westfield still ahead 2-0 after 3 innings. Top of the 4th on a beautiful afternoon here at Bob Rooster Senior Memorial Field. First round of the sectional tournament between the Westfield Blue Devils and the Franklin Warriors. Michael Lanier alongside Alex Kingsley, all 7 innings.
You know, Mike, this game is definitely moving along. You know, Pancini, especially threw only 8 pitches last inning. It's only 4:42. Game even started a little early, around first pitch at around 3:52.
At one line foul. Warriors only have 1 hit today. Pancini's got 6 strikeouts. And that one is popped up. And Rinaldi will make the catch at short.
Wait, Megan.
So Smiley, the catcher, will come to the plate. Flew out to center in his first at-bat.
Yeah. Why can't you work there? You want your car to by foul ball?
Another good pitch by Pancini. Strike 1. That one low and away for the first ball of the at-bat. Callahan, the third baseman, is on deck right now for the Warriors as they send a pitcher to warm up in the bullpen, and that one just goes under Bobby Abbott's glove.
Wait, no, she's not at the right part.
So Smiley will reach first base with an error by Bobby Abbott. First error of the ball game for either team.
Here, Callahan, his last at bat, struck out looking. Certainly doesn't want to do that again, Mike.
And Alex, how about Abbott with the so routine usually at second? Think he just didn't keep his eye on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen Pancini throw crazy curveballs going in, what looked like going in the batter's box and ending up in the middle of the strike zone. And we've also seen him throw crazy heat from the mound. So only time will tell what's going to happen for this at-bat.
So Callahan fouls that one off. That thing went flying into the parking lot behind us.
And
really great crowd. It's a nice student section for Westfield.
Is that so random?
It's a 1-1 count on Callahan. Now Pancini having a quick conversation with the umpire, second base umpire. Not really sure what that's all about.
Could have been a balk warning. You know, balk is when pitcher commits home plate, but doesn't in the
Runners
end.
going. Anderson sees it a little late, and it was a pretty good throw. They almost got the runner, but it is a stolen base for Smiley. 1-2 count with one away now on Callahan. That's a great decision right there, Alex, by the Warriors' third base coach. Gets down 2-0, top of the fourth. Your season's on the line right now.
Definitely only one out.
And that one is fouled off again, and third base coach with a snags that thing barehanded.
Callahan now at a 1-2 count. Definitely has to protect with Pancini ahead. And we know anything can really come his way. We could see the heat, or we could see those breaking curveballs.
Last year in the first round of this sectional tournament, Westfield was the 16 seed, and they knocked off the 1 seed Bridgewater Raritan. So they go from the 16 seed to the 2 seed as that one is fouled off again. Callahan making some really good contact right now. Count still at 1-2.
Yeah, definitely staying alive. Make sure he doesn't go down swinging or looking really. You know, especially with a running and scoring position, definitely wants to get a hit in the outfield. Want to score that run at first. Smiley at second.
DiNicola is on deck. Payoff pitch. Pancini hit back at him. Abbott throw to first is low, and a good scoop by Victor Cruz, so 2-away.
And Mike, if I'm correct, I think that was the first ground out of the whole game for both Franklin and the Blue Devils.
Yeah, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of flyouts, and some hits. 2-away. Pancini takes an eye on the runner at second. That's Smiley. Reached base on an error by Abbott, and then stole second. Good curveball right there for strike one. DiNicola using that bright orange bat. And a little check swing, runner stays at second. That one in the dirt. Another good block by Anderson. It's so important, Alex, especially for Westfield, to have a good catcher who could block balls behind the plate, because this backstop is ginormous.
Yeah,
definitely an adjustment the road team has to always make when they play here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's farther back than some MLB ballparks. I mean, honestly, it's probably 100 feet back, 80 feet back from home plate.
That one fouled off near the Westfield dugout. If there's ever a wild pitch runner on first, there's a legitimate chance he could go from first to third.
Devin Anderson.
So 1-2 count. Pancini checks back at second, and he struck him out. Number 7 on the day for Pancini. 4 scoreless innings, and Westfield leads at 2-0. Bottom of the fourth here in Westfield, the Blue Devils rolling right now. Pancini, 4 innings of shutout ball, only 1 hit allowed, and 7 strikeouts. That's a season high. Had 20 coming into today. And that one is lined into the gap in right center by Bobby Abbott. And he'll stay at first. Probably could have made it over there to second.
Bobby Abbott definitely doing a good job of swinging at the first pitch. You know, not waiting for anything or anybody to get a hit, and he lines it into right center for the easy and safe first base hit.
So here's Devin Anderson, struck out swinging, and he pops the first pitch to second as Gonzalez makes the play. Marner will come to the dish with a RBI single in the second inning to give Westfield their second run after Wolf had the inside the park homer in the first. Rembez is on deck, and that one hit him. So Marner reaches first with a hit by pitch. J-Mac comes to the plate now with runners on first and second, one away. An RBI opportunity for the Blue Devils.
You know, Mike, this is definitely a great situation for Westfield. 1 out, 2 runners on base with the leadoff hitter in Rembez. Certainly could get stretch some runs out of this, even some extra base hits with Rembez and his wheels for feet.
That one low in the dirt for ball one. Runners stay put. Not the afternoon Logan Bradshaw was looking for the Warriors. And Rembez lines that into right. It's going to fall. Abbott will round third, and then he'll stay there. Brewster tells him to stay, and the Blue Devils have the bases loaded for Kobe Wolf. And Wolf had the bases loaded in that second inning. And he struck out. But that was with 2 outs. Right now, bases juiced with 1 away. So definitely a busy day for the junior left fielder, Kobe Wolf. Rinaldi on deck. And takes that one just on the outside part of the plate for strike one.
Yeah, Mike, and I would say it would be almost the exact same situation, just minus an out with only 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
It's Rembez at first, Marner at second, Abbott at third. 0-1 count is now 1-1 after Wolf takes that one. Infield playing in, and Wolf showed bunt right there, but it fouls it off behind the fence.
And Mike, now with 2 strikes, certainly not going to bunt again. Baseball rule, 2 strikes, and if the batter bunts and it's a foul, that's an automatic out. So now he's got the green light to hit away, Mike.
Would have been a suicide squeeze right there. With the bases loaded, 1-2. Payoff pitch is hit and caught by Matos at first. A diving stop, and one the Warriors needed. So the second out of the inning, and here's Chris Rinaldi.
Yeah, Mike, I would say this is the batter you want in this situation. Out of the other 8 guys in the lineup, this is the one you want, Chris Rinaldi. Probably the most dangerous hitter in this team, especially with his experience. He knows he wants to get this runner in scoring position.
He's hitting .373 on the year, 28 of 75. He's got 16 RBIs. 15 walks.
How many RBIs?
As the home plate umpire had a quick conversation with Bradshaw right there. I think they switched the ball. Nice breeze comes across the baseball field right now. 1-0 count to the senior. Trying to blow up this game if he could bring some runs in.
Yeah, Mike, as we were saying before, these runs certainly be insurance runs, even with Westfield already having the 2-0 lead.
And he lines one in the right center gap. 2 are going to score at least. Make it 3. J-Mac Rembes comes home to score a 3-run triple for Chris Rinaldi. And the throw goes over the third baseman's head. And Rinaldi will come home and score. Make it 6-0. And just like that, Rinaldi sending the Blue Devils most likely to the second round. Big time hit. As clutch as it gets right there. And you had a feeling that was going to happen, Alex. Westfield, that's their best hitter, Chris Rinaldi. You give him a chance like that, bases loaded. You can't, pitcher Bradshaw, can't keep getting into these jams because sooner or later what just happened is going to continue to happen. Rinaldi, all you got to do, make contact, and that's exactly what he did in the gap. 3-run score with ease, and then poor cutoff throw goes over the third baseman's head, and Rinaldi comes home and scores. Ball goes out of play.
Yeah, Mike, you could say Rinaldi, with being the best player arguably in this team, he's got the most experience. And he knows in a situation like that, you need a hit. And, instead of that, he stretches out a triple. As you could say that was an error by the cutoff man to stretch for a home run. But that's 4 easy runs right there off the nice liner into right center.
And I think Franklin's going to make a pitching change right here, down 6. And Warriors bringing in a new pitcher here. It's number 2, the lefty, Patel. And he almost hit Barmakian on his first pitch. And Barmakian hits this one opposite field. It is going to fall, and that's a fair ball. Barmakian rounds first, and he stays there. So a 2-out base hit after Rinaldi clears the bases on his 3-run triple and comes home to score after the throwing error. 6-0 lead for Westfield. 5 earned runs by Bradshaw, 6 in total. 2-way.
Say we're going to step aside. We're going to step aside. And Brunson's now going to step up to the plate with a 1-0 count. Patel tries to pick off Barmakian at first. Is not successful.
Well, just missed Tavis Brunson RBI double right there as our battery ran out.
And now Cruz at the plate is now the only batter who has not hit this inning.
And he takes that one high. Brunson's at second. Barmakian came home to score on the RBI double from Tavis Brunson. That's a called strike, so 2-1.
Even though pitch a high strike, looks like Patel has also struggled a little bit in his start and relief from Bradshaw. Victor Cruz now worked the hitter's count, 3-1. Patel pitches a ball. It's a walk. Strike. Brings it to a full count. Keeps the at-bat alive.
And Cruz will walk on 5 pitches. Brings up Bobby Abbott. Had a base hit last time. He's got runners on first and second. The mercy rule is 10 runs after 5 innings. Or later. Right now it's a 7-run lead. Abbott lines it. That's a base hit. Brunson will be waved home, and he will score. Cruz stays at second. An RBI single for Bobby Abbott.
Mike, we saw it, at the start of the inning and at his last at bat, just like he did again. The first pitch swung on and hit. He likes, doesn't like to take any time just to do it. He's got to do exactly what he's got to do, and as he does, getting another single in the same inning. Now 2 for 3 in the day with a fly out with his first at bat.
Here's Devin Anderson, 0 for 2 today. One of the few Blue Devils to not reach base. Only Blue Devil, I should say, to not reach base. And that one hit in the center. Bizarre has lost it, it looks like, for a little, but makes a catch. But Westfield gets 8. Rinaldi, a 3-run triple was the big one. And the Blue Devils lead at 8-0 after 4. So top of the 5th here in Westfield. Pancini still on the hill for Westfield. Been dominant today, Alex, with 4 scoreless innings and 7 strikeouts. Bizarre, as the center fielder, is at the plate. And he fouls that one off. Almost got caught in the fence. 8-0 Westfield. Could potentially be the final inning if the Blue Devils keep the Warriors scoreless and then score 2 in the bottom of the inning. 0-1 count. Swing and a miss, an ugly swing right there from Bizarres.
And you can tell from the first fastball pitch, Bizarres was a little late, and on the breaking ball, way out in front of it was Bizarres swinging and missing.
1-1 count. That one, a fastball high, 2-1. That one popped up mile high. Victor Cruz makes the play. 1 away.
Mike, it seems as though I'm sure a Blue Devil, Franklin has been out on the field probably double the amount of time the Blue Devils have. We haven't seen a lot of Pancini out there on the mound, but for what we have seen, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ks in the day. Doing a tremendous job from the mound. I'm sorry, make that 7 Ks. Doing everything he can and is doing to help the team win.
Pally's the hitter, and he swings right there through that fastball, 1-1. Pitch from Pancini right down the middle, strike 2. Pally's just late to react right now in this at-bat.
Definitely, he's done a great job of using the off-speed pitches, fast or slow, coming off of fastballs or curveballs, breaking balls, making these hitters fall.
1-2 pitch is popped up foul. And caught by a Franklin player over there to the right. Not an out, though. Franklin bench player. One-two count on Pally. Just missed, not really sure where. So 2-2 now. Westfield's got some guys warming up in the bullpen over there to the right. And there's strikeout number 8 on the day for Pancini. Definitely his best start of the year.
Mike, we've talked about him being the ace and really stepping up for the Westfield team, knowing that, prior to the season, they thought that pitching was a weakness, pitching actually turning out to be one of their strong points. This is a start that Westfield really has yet to see from Pancini. Really a dominant game over, taking over the game for Pancini, which is something they really needed a long time ago.
And this one is fouled off right behind us into the parking lot. 0-1 count on Matos, first baseman. Made that nice play, I think, in the bottom of the fourth, where he dove and caught it. But now he's down 0-2 with 2 away.
Mike, you could see Matos way out in front of it. You knew it was the curveball, and I'm not sure what Pancini's going to throw this time. Could be either curve or fastball.
Fastball in line, foul. Almost hit somebody in the bullpen. I think it might have hit Brunson. He was warming up with his pitchers. Now he's got to go find that ball in the woods.
Instead, Mike, seemed like his fastball coming off the bat way late from Matos.
Here's the pitch, just high for ball 1. He strikeout number 9. Pancini could get it. Absolutely dominant today, as that one had some movement on it, but stops in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Bases empty for the Warriors right now. Only Matos' second at bat of the ball game. Walked in his first at bat, and Barmakian jumps, but he can't make the catch. So the Warriors have a base runner. Here in the top of the 5th, down by 8. With 2 away, it's Gonzalez, second baseman, will come up to hit. And 5 on that one, Alex?
No, we've seen Barmakian. He's one great fielder, so it's actually quite odd to see him make an error like that. Even though he had to jump up and make the catch, it came off the glove. You can hear the ball hitting the glove from from all the way back here in the stands. So
Warriors had the hit and run on, but it was fouled off by Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2 on the day with a pop up to second base and a swinging strikeout.
And Mike, if my calculations are correct, this is now only the second runner on base for Franklin. Just yet again proving Pancini's dominance in this game. Definitely taking over on the defensive end for Westfield.
Third base runner, but only 2 of those were errors. Only 1 hit Pancini's given up. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Pancini. Runners going, and popped up again. This time foul in play. Cruz, a long run. Can't get there in time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. Just to make up for the mistake I had before, that's now the 4th runner on base, but 2 of them have come off of errors.
That one gets away from Anderson. Runner was already stealing, got to second, and comes to third. Talking about that big backstop, the conversation we had earlier. It was the first ball of the at-bat. So Matos is at third, Gonzalez at the plate. With 2 away and 2 strikes, Pancini taking his time. Here's the pitch. One of the fastest he's thrown all day, but it falls in right field, gets past Marner. So it'll be an RBI double. If Marner fields that a little more cleanly, probably only an RBI single. Runner was definitely scoring. And shows right there, the faster that pitch is, faster it's coming off the bat, Alex.
Oh, definitely. Even if Gonzalez only swung, maybe even a half a swing with the speed that Pancini's got, the ball has possibility of, going as little as far as just that, bloop or outside the infield.
A 1 count on Slaughterback. DH. Haven't seen any pinch hitters yet. That one hit back at Pancini. Throw to first. Retires the side. Warriors get 1. But Westfield in control, up 8-1 after 4.5 here at Bob Brewster Senior Memorial Field. You're watching the first round of the Group 4 North 2 sectional playoffs. Bottom of the 5th here in Westfield. 9-hitter J.D. Marner leading off. And if Westfield could score 3, this ball game would be over because of the mercy rule. Blue Devils got 6 in the last inning. Patel is the pitcher. And Marner swings on the first pitch in foul territory. That'll fall for strike 1.
No, that's strike 2. That's strike 2.
Strike 2, my mistake. Looks like Zach Kelly warming up in the Blue Devil bullpen as Marner pops another one foul just out of the reach of Matos, Warrior first baseman. Great day for baseball, Alex. A lot of people came out to see the Blue Devils here in the first round of the state tournament. I apologize for some technical problems we had throughout the broadcast, but I think we got things cleared up. And Marner lines that one. Third baseman is down and hurt. That's Callahan, and he is still on that floor. That's a base hit. Anyway, that was a liner.
That's an error.
That thing was scorched really hard. Don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Trainer Chris Flores will come on and go look at Callahan.
Step aside.
And we'll step aside here on BDTV. So Callahan able to get up, and he is still in the game at third. After a pretty long conversation, Alex, we decided to give J.D. Marner a base hit. You were arguing for the error as Rembes takes ball 1.
Yeah, I thought routine, hit him right in the leg, so he didn't have to move very much because it's a very hard hit ball. But in the end, this isn't the MLB, and like I just said, it was hit very hard, so we'll give him the hit.
So 1-1 from Patel. Marner is at first, and that one hit to short. Bobbles it, no play at second. He ran over there to second, but Marner beat him. I would say that's an error right there. That one, routine grounder, shortstop D. Nicola just bobbled it 2 times and then didn't really know where he should go, either to first or to second. Ends up going to second, but he's late. So the Blue Devils have runners in first and second, as Jacob Kurtstead is going to pinch hit right now for Westfield, and a home run would end the ball game. Pinch hitting for Kobe Wolf. who went 1 for 3 on the day with the solo inside the Parker in inning number 1. Kirkstead with a good eye has 2-1 hitters count right now. Two one fouled off behind the fence. No lacrosse game going on today behind us. Blue Devils boys lax team has their sectional game on Wednesday at North Hunterdon. Kirkstead grounds out to first for the first out of the inning, but the runners move over. That's a successful at-bat right there. Give Westfield some more insurance possibly with Chris Rinaldi at the plate.
What was the out? Was it shortstop? Who made the out? First base?
Here's Rinaldi, had the 3-run triple, came home and scored on the error. That hit was perfect in his last at-bat.
Definitely hit, the middle of the barrel. The ball hit the middle of the barrel too, and just smacked that one all the way out into the outfield.
One to the future Holy Cross Crusader, and hits this to deep right field. It's going to be caught. Marner's going to tag. Strong throw, but Marner is in safely to make it 9-1 in favor of Westfield. So Barmakian will come to the plate with two-way and a runner on second. And smacks it, base hit, and Rembes sent home. He'll score, make it 10-1 Westfield. There's a throwback to first. We're making it back there in time. Two-way here in the bottom of the fifth. Westfield leads it 10-1. If Brunson can bring home Barmakian, the ball game would be over. Cruz is on deck for Westfield.
And again, Frank with the first pitch strike this time. Patel on the mound. Comes off the mound, trying to get Barmakian to come back a little closer to first base, not trying to steal.
And it looks like if Brunson could extend this inning, there's actually going to be a pinch hitter because Cruz is over there without his helmet on. That one gets away from the catcher, and Barmakian rounds second, halfway there, and then slips, heads back to second. I believe that's Cam Bremer on deck. Brunson takes that one for strike two. Winning runs at second base, game-ending run, I should say, at second base. Westfield well in control, up 10-1. Here's a pitch from Patel. Brunson, weak grounder to second. Play is made. Good flip right there by Gonzalez. Westfield leads it 10-1. Looks like we will have another inning of baseball. Top of the sixth here in Westfield. And the Blue Devils will bring out a new pitcher. It's Zach Kelly, starting quarterback of the undefeated state champion football team. And Kelly's had a great senior year on the diamond. Gets a called strike one right there. 38 2/3 of innings pitched for Kelly, and only giving up 9 runs. And it's Jake Valabera behind the plate. The sophomore comes in for Devin Anderson. It's the one changer I could recognize. And as well, Cam Bremer is at first base, replacing Victor Cruz.
Looks like the sun's coming out. Turned out to be a nice evening.
Yeah, we heard the lightning alarm at Keller go off before this game started.
Yeah, there was a nice dark cloud, to the right of your screen, and we thought 50-60% chance of precipitation, but that wasn't the case. And we have a beautiful sunny rest of this day left.
Full count for Kelly. Patel is the hitter, and it's high, so Patel will walk. Catcher Tom Smiley comes to bat. What could be some of these guys' final at-bats of their high school careers, Alex, for the seniors. We weren't given, actually, check that, we were given the grades of these guys. Tom Smiley is a senior, so this, in all likeliness, will be his final at-bat of his career. High school.
And didn't necessarily have a good last game as he flew out his first at-bat. He got on because of an error from Bobby Abbott getting under his glove in the 4th inning.
And he fouls that one off. Val snags it.
Now
Tells it at first, and it's a 1-2 count.
Kelly now ahead. I'm sure we'll see some junk, curveball, breaking ball, changeup, whatever he's got in store.
And Smiley hits it over there to second. Catch is made by Bobby Abbott for the first out of the 6th inning. Pinch hitter for the Warriors, it's number 16.
Millman is his last name. Ken Millman.
It's Ken Millman. The righty with Patel at first. And that's just missed for ball 1. At this time, I'd like to thank our cameraman, Steve DeMaria, hopefully doing a great job today. Helping out for Harrison Bailey, taking another day off. And Chris Witzel, also day off. And Kelly gets a strike there.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out in the 6th inning.
And 1 run for the Franklin Warriors, and that's a base hit. Gets behind Marner again. Runner Patel stays at second. And I gotta say, it feels like every time I'm doing a game here, there's a base hit into right field. It always goes behind Marner.
Yeah, I remember we did a game earlier in the year. I think it was against Scotch Plains, and I think Marner had 2 or 3 errors out in right field. He doesn't. It seems like he's there's still things, even as a senior, that these players can improve upon. Is definitely keeping the ball in front of him, and especially with how big this field is and how large the dimensions are, that ball could seem like it's going on back behind him forever and ever.
Hit to Kelly. He throws the second. He's safe because the throw was far to the right. And everybody's safe. So the Warriors have the bases loaded with one away. Smart decision by Kelly to go to second, but the throw was just too far to the right. Brought, I believe that was Abbott, off the bag, and then throw to first just not in time. So bases loaded with one away. Warriors trying to extend their season by another inning or two. Down 10-1. Kelly responsible for all these base runners as he came in and pitched this sixth inning. Pancini went 5 innings, struck out 8, and only allowed 2 hits and 1 earned run.
There wasn't an earned run. It was just a run because it was an error.
Kelly gives it a look. Here's the pitch. Inside to Bazarez, the center fielder. 0 for 2 on the day with both flyouts to first baseman. 2-1 count. Kelly. Hit in the center. Catch is made by Rembes. They're going to tag, and he is safe, but a great relay by the Blue Devils nonetheless. And then the runners will go to second and third. And he's actually going to score. They're going to say the ball went out of play, so it's 10-3. So we will definitely be playing a 6, bottom of the 6th. And probably a bottom of the excuse me, disregard that last statement. There will be a bottom of the 6th. 2-2 count.
Yeah, Mike, sometimes at the high school level we always see, teams, like Blue Devils who are ahead seem to fall apart late and give a chance for the other team to get ahead, tie, or even win games.
There's a strike on Pally. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. 1-2 count, 1 away. Here's Kelly's pitch, and he got him. That's the 3rd out of the inning, excuse me. Only 2 on the scoreboard. My mistake, so Blue Devils out in front, 10-3. They'll hit one more time. So Cam Bremer gonna pinch hit for Westfield here in the bottom of the 6th. Dubfield out in front, 10-3 after a 6-run 4th inning and a 2-run 5th inning. Warriors got 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 5th. Patel still the pitcher. Second pitcher of the day for Franklin. Fouls it off behind the Westfield dugout. Westfield will get the winner of Woodbridge J.P. Stevens. That game going on right now. In fact, all the 8 games of the first round of this Group 4 North 2 tournament going on today at 4. Bremer will ground out to third. That's a new third baseman in there, as Callahan, I believe, came out of the game. Bobby Abbott will come and hit. Second baseman. back-to-back singles for him in the 4th and the 5th. And Abbott will hit it in fair territory and caught by Matos at first for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down. And here's Jake Valdera, one of 2 sophomores on varsity baseball this year, along with Corey Hiltz. Hiltz had a really fine outing on Friday when Westfield beat one of the toughest teams all year long. They beat Pope John on the road. Val's had 2 homers on the year. Both of them have gone over the fence. One here against Summit in the quarterfinals of the Union County Tournament, and one in the Charity Classic game, and he rips one. But it's going to be caught in left, gives it a ride. But it's the 3rd out of the inning. A nice play made by Pally. Westfield up 10-3, headed to the 7th here in Westfield. Top of the 7th, final inning here in Westfield, as long as the Blue Devils hold on. Connor Scanlon, the junior, will come and pitch. Not a save opportunity with a 7-run lead. Just missed. Val behind the plate. And that pitch is popped up. Coming towards us for strike 1.
You know, Matos, I'm sure he definitely wants to get on base and keep the season alive for Franklin, but, you know, the odds are not in their favor to take this game back. It looks like the game will end in this half inning.
There's the second ball of the at-bat. Matos the hitter. Reached base on an error and had a base hit so far today. Takes that one low, so and the Warrior to reach base twice.
And now Matos worked himself a hitter's count, 3-1. Scanlon's got up at a strike.
And he fouls that one off. Behind the fence. Full count, no one out in the top of the 7th here in Westfield. Great day of baseball, and that one lined. Barmakian makes it look easy. But they didn't make the around the horn look easy.
Barmakian made that out look easy, Mike.
Top of the order for the Warriors. It's second baseman Gonzalez. Warriors down to their final 2 outs of their season. And pitch right down the middle. It appeared, but it's a ball. And that one line, Abbott backhands it. Throw to first in time. A web gem from Bobby Abbott.
As you said, Mike, that was one heck of a play. Baba did a great job of staying with it, even though he had time to make the play, and he was able to keep the play alive and make the out.
Like that, Warriors down to their final out. Hit to Abbott again, makes the play, and the ball game is over. Westfield wins it 10-3. Alex Pancini gets the win in a very, very impressive performance. 5 innings of shutout ball or 5 innings, 1 run given up by Pancini, 8 strikeouts, gets the W. And the Blue Devils really hit all around. Start off with Kobe Wolf inside the park home run. We saw Chris Rinaldi with a bases clearing triple in the 6th run of the 4th, and Westfield just didn't stop hitting. They get the win 10-3 after 7, and they advance to the 2nd round of the Group 4 North 2 sectional tournament on Thursday. Franklin season comes to an end. Blue Devils back in action once again Thursday, 4 o'clock, right here at home at Bob Brewster Senior Memorial Field. We'll have a game for you, and they await the winner of Woodbridge J.P. Stevens. Alex, what did you see today that impressed you from Westfield?
What I saw was what was obvious, and that was the pitching. Pansimi came out, and we thought he was supposed to be the ace, and he was doing his job all season, having a few hiccups here and there in some games, but really came out on top today. Had 79 pitches, only gave up 1 walk, gave out 8 strikeouts, also gave out 2 hits, and only gave up 1 run and none earned off the error from Steve Barmakian with the missed catch in the 5th inning. And what seemed like from Pansini was just a lights-out performance from all cylinders. He was able to get out of every inning. Here and there, he had a little bit of a jam, was able to get out of it. And all around, just had one heck of a game for the Blue Devils. One that they really need to see out of him, which is good for the momentum for this team to keep winning in the tournament. And, hey, maybe in the end they could win a state tournament this way.
Yeah, we saw Kelly come out in relief. Obviously, a dominant start from Pansini. So most likely we'll see Matt Basardo on Thursday in the 2nd round. And from our cameraman, Steve DiMaria, I'm Michael Eniart saying so long from Westfield. Stick around, though. We'll have a post-game interview with the stars of today's game coming right up here on BDTV.